everybody sitting and listening to the news, maybe they can find the news that this regime gone and they will be happy, we will celebrate that. So for that reason, a lot of people call me and they go, sorry, we are so busy with this news and we want to see it on YouTube, what we recorded. So for our agenda, first I will ask you guys to introduce yourself, and then I will ask some questions, general questions that maybe everybody had that one. And then we will open the floor for people that they can ask some question, and then we will go for some refreshment. And after that, you can have a networking and face-to-face talking with people that they are here.
Awesome.
Okay, so first, please introduce yourself from that.
Hello everyone, my name is Keenan Adams. I'm the MLA candidate in Port Coquitlam, and I'm very happy to be here and impressed to meet everyone, and always been very interested in the thousands-year-old Iranian culture, so very happy to be here.
Hello, my name is Kerry Van Aswegen. I am the candidate in Port Moody, Coquitlam. I am also very grateful for this opportunity to meet you all. I am also an immigrant, so a lot of the concerns that you have, I have as well. And I'm looking forward to meeting you and getting to know you.
So I am Hamed Najafi. I'm running for Coquitlam Millardville. I have been here for more than 20 years. I'm an immigrant like yourself. I will say this in Farsi as well in a bit, but I'm here to represent you. I'm here because I see a lot of stuff that needs to be changed. We need to bring that change for our community. I want to be your voice to be able to be heard in our legislature and go there and make things smoother for you guys. And I'll go a little bit in Farsi with all. از من حامد نجفی هستم، برای کاندیدای نمایندگی مجلس استانی هستم توی کوکوتلم ملاردویل. باعث افتخاره که بتونم شماها رو در واقع ریپرزنت بکنم در این در واقع مجلس و بتونم صدای هممون رو با قوت بیشتری داشته باشیم و بتونیم اینجا رو جایی بکنیم که بستر خوبی برای همه ما باشه، بتونیم زندگی خوب و بهتری داشته باشیم و در کنار همدیگه بتونیم یه زندگی خوبی رو با آرامش داشته باشیم. همینجور که همتون میدونین سالهای پیش یه سری مسائل بزرگی در ایران خودمون اتفاق افتاد و اینجا هم داره نزدیک میشه به اونجا. میخوایم اینو عوض کنیم، بستر رو خوب بکنیم برای اینکه هممون بتونیم در کنار هم زندگی خوبی داشته باشیم و بتونیم پرورش پیدا بکنیم و بالاتر و بالاتر بریم. مرسی.
Hello, my name is Stephen Frolick. I am the MLA candidate for Coquitlam Burke Mountain, and I had the honor about 14 years ago to serve Canada in Afghanistan to support our mission there. And it is my sincere hope and desire that I get to serve this community in Coquitlam Burke Mountain, but also to serve British Columbia as a whole in order to make sure that your voices are heard in Victoria and that your needs are met.
Thank you so much. So I'm starting some general questions. First question is going from the healthcare. As you know, we have a lot of problem in our health system right now. I want to know what step will you take to improve access to health service in BC?
So I'm going to go English and then I will go. As we know, when the COVID hit, this government fired a lot of doctors, nurses, and healthcare practitioners. The most important part is we want to bring them back. We have a big shortage in all the province, including our Coquitlam, and we need to bring those back. That is the first step. We have all those people that are professional and their profession is going to waste. I have been to a lot of doors, talked to nurses that they are no servers, unfortunately. And they said we couldn't wait for 4 years. So we will bring them back, so we increase our healthcare professionals there. The second thing is that we need to make a clear path for accreditation. As you know, I'm an engineer, but when I came here, my engineering, everything was approved. I sent all my documents. I was accepted as a skilled worker, immigrant. When I came here, it didn't count. I know many doctors, specialists, that they have their credentials, but there is no clear path for them to get accredited here and be able to work. So we are going to bring some ways so that we can have that accreditation path smoothened, and we can bring them quickly to our healthcare environment. And one of the most important other things is we want to focus on patients, and we want to cut the wait times. We don't want to cut any budget. Just what we are going to cut is the wait time. And the other, and one of the biggest things about healthcare is that now we have safe injection sites and safe inhalation sites. We want to convert them to treatment places. So we are going to treat people rather than allowing them go there and have safe use of the drugs. So the conversion of that will bring more healthcare spaces for us, and we will put treatment ahead of safe supply, which is the drugs, injections, inhalation, and all those. I'll go it quickly in Farsi if that's okay, or?
I don't know, do you need Farsi translation or English? No. I don't think so.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
So the question is, what is your strategy regarding the private healthcare?
I can answer that. So we're not, when you're sick, you don't worry about where you're going to get the treatment, right? You want to get treatment. So my husband, for example, has been waiting 2 years for an operation. Like, really? So whether you get the treatment in a government hospital or a non-government hospital, it doesn't matter to the patient. It's not going to cost you any more money, because you're going to show your BC Healthcare card, which is paid for by the way we're doing it right now, so there's no extra cost. It doesn't matter where you get the treatment from. You just want the treatment. And that is the issue that we're going to have. We're going to have more treatment facilities available. So it's, even though it's non-governmental, doesn't mean to say you need to pay for it. So that's how we're going to change it, because we need to get patients better, quicker.
Thank you so much. Actually, some of the, some units in the healthcare system, like ultrasound, like
are already, exactly.
Or, CT scan, MRI.
Already private, right?
We don't need more
That's
specialists, right. But they can be private.
Correct.
As other countries that they are doing, and the government can pay them.
That's right.
Now the government send it to the Seattle, maybe it can be
leave it here.
Just
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The second question is regarding addiction. You know what's happening right now in the streets, and you say, what is the BC Conservative plan for address the addiction issue?
I can go. Yeah, I can go.
Sure.
First thing first, the decriminalization should be removed. So all these drugs that are being as a safe supply, we have to stop that. And instead of that, we have to bring treatment first. So treatment should be the priority and where we expand on. And if these people need the drugs to be able, as a part of their treatment, to get to the finish line, then it's okay. But that is our mandate. We are saying treatment first, and drugs can be complement if they need be within their recovery.
So we won't see the selling the weeds in the street, yeah, or other.
And I think on that point is that what has gotten away from is that there's no real supervision around the current safe supply. There's been real problems around diversion, around, so what Hamed mentioned is very true, is it should be a supplemental part of the treatment, not just, wholesale delivery of very addictive substances that flood the market and flood the streets, and sadly sometimes flood our high schools as well for our young people.
It's a high school problem right now.
Yeah, and I will add into that, In Portugal, there is a treatment, there is a program that what they do is they say, okay, if you want to help yourself, then you sign up with the treatment program, and you go to the program and you get the drugs with it. Otherwise, they wouldn't provide, and it's a different option. But there is one more thing added to that, and at the end of the program in Portugal, what they do, the guys go through, or people go through, they become clean. Now they are clean out. So I will ask this question. I know the answer, but let's say you are an employer. I am the one who was addicted per se, and I'm clean now. And my twin brother with identical credentials, everything, is there who has never had any single drug. You are, as an employer, going to hire one. Who would you hire? Right? Here in BC, and in majority of the places, when they come clean, the businesses want to take the one that has never been addicted and not the one who has been cleaned. Now, over there, the program is like this. Now, you don't hire the one who was addicted, but what if government pays for part of the wages or the whole wages? Now, it is different. Now, as a business owner, you may want to take the one who was addicted and give them a chance to go into the community, to the society. Because the one who comes and doesn't get hired, even though they are clean, after sometimes, if they don't get the job, they will go back, because that was easier life than being there clean and not doing that. So this way we can break the circle, and so make them come off. That is another incentives that could be possible for us to take them off.
So I think I can summarize it. End decriminalization, prevention, first of all, compassionate care for the people suffering from addiction, more rehab beds, and that would be the path.
Okay, the next question is regarding transportation and infrastructure. As you know, because of the population that increasing right now, and it's the federally, I think, decision they made, and now we have a lot of people living in the area, but we don't have infrastructure. You know, the roads, the streets, everything is the same as the 10 years ago. What is the BC Conservatives' plan for these problems?
So I think the first answer people want to know is probably about TransLink. You heard about TransLink and their money issues. What's going to happen to our great transit system, you know, we have going on. So we've committed to fully fund TransLink for 2 years, and we're going to do a new financial model to get things a lot better and smoother while we're fully funding it, so we don't get into this mess again. When it talks about infrastructure, we're missing roads, basic stuff, such as, so I've been advocating for the Fremont Connector to stifle the traffic stifled at Burke Mountain through Port Coquitlam. This is something I'm advocating for. We can get the cars out of our towns onto the highway and main arteries. Another bottleneck that I've been advocating for is the Coquitlam River Bridge. We've all, when we're going east to west, we've all been in that little bridge and been bottlenecked there. So these are like kind of basic things that have been let go. They haven't focused on the basics. So these are some of the issues that I would like to advocate for and push forward. We want to make sure that we expand some service for the buses, especially for the seniors. Make sure that we have enough handy dart and services for the seniors so they can get around, right? Also, let's see. I just feel like they've forgotten about the roads. We make sure they're in good shape. Yeah. So, anyone else want to add to that?
I'll add a little bit on the larger scale. Highway 1, everybody that travels on Highway 1 knows how you bottleneck, get stuck there, right? So they're proposing a 6-lane road to Chilliwack, which would be phenomenal. Like when I go away on weekends, the odd weekend I can go away between 264 and Abbotsford, you're 20 kilometers an hour. And that'll change. If we have 6 lanes going both ways, that'll be incredible. So that's the one. The other problem that they're having is the Brunette off-ramp on the Highway 1 is also a bottleneck and apparently really dangerous. So that'll be definitely looked at. So they're looking at bigger structures. Outside of Vancouver, they've got other things that they're proposing. But for us in the Lower Mainland, those are the big ones in this area that they're really going to look at. So there's definitely infrastructure needs to be dealt with, and that we're very much aware of going to do this. It'd be great if, let's face it, if we can get out of the town to go away for the weekend, it would be great.
Yeah. And I just want to talk about a little bit of misinformation. We're never going to implement road tolls or pricing, just so everyone knows. I know there was some misinformation about that from the other party. Just to let everybody know, no tolls. Yeah.
And I want to add a quick note on that. On our platform that just released, we are going to put $1 billion per year for cities to upgrade and come up with modernization of their infrastructure. That is what we are going to put. So that goes towards the cities to expand and bring their infrastructure up.
Yeah, we need hospitals, we need schools.
Yeah.
We sure do.
Okay, the next question is regarding education. How will you ensure that public education in BC receives adequate funding to maintain high standards? You know, right now in the schools, the standard is say 10 people, 15 people, but now we have some of the schools, they have 30% inside the school, and it decreases the standards because the education system in BC is based on the, you know, it is not for high volume people, it's for 10, 12 people. But right now we have more people and the teachers couldn't support all of the students. What's the plan for this one?
I think for me as an immigrant, when I came to Canada, one of the big reasons we came to Canada, I have 3 children. The education here was very high. That was 30 years ago, and that was one of the reasons I wanted, my husband and I both have degrees, and we wanted our children to have a good education, and that was one of the things we looked at. And over the years, the last 30 years that we've been here, the classrooms have gotten bigger. What I find is that there's the split grades in a class, which to me was not, that honestly the children lose out when they do that. So we need to deal with that. We also need to make sure we go back to actually teaching children the basics of schooling. So the basic math, basic how to write an essay. I would like to see the grade system come back, because now I do a lot of work with the universities, and I've actually asked them, what do they do with the children that come out of school that are not graded? And they've actually implemented an extra year into university, which you know how much universities cost, to get the children up to the standard of to go to university. So in other words, they have to be able to write an essay. They have to be able to do basic things that you do at university. So we need to bring that back to the universities to make sure that to the schools to make sure that they can do this. We also need them to learn to think for themselves, to think critically. The critical thinking is not there anymore. We're teaching children what to think, not how to think on their own. But as far as classroom sizes go, we need to address and get teachers in there enough so that they can actually have full grades of grade 1, 2, whatever it is, and no split classes, because like I said, the split classes don't work. I think ideology needs to be removed from schools, and we need to get back to education of the schools.
Just to add on to something that Carrie said, like I remember when I was graduating high school, so that was back in 2005. So I just aged myself there a little bit. But I remember that I was sort of being introduced into the possibility of doing some tutoring to students in Asia. And I just remember them saying that, you know, the British Columbia education's like standard, our curriculum was so highly sought after that like Chinese people were buying into it and other Asian countries. And I think we've gotten away from that. And I really believe, and like what Carrie was saying, that we do need to really get back to the fundamentals of teaching students what they need to learn, and you know, making sure that there is a adequate ratio to make sure that they're actually retaining and getting the knowledge and preparing themselves for the rest of their life.
Thank you. And regarding the housing, it's important for everybody, I think, but how does the BC Conservative plan to address the current housing crisis in British Columbia, particularly in urban area like Vancouver, Tricity?
Yeah. So one thing that I've done when I got into this was I wanted to reach out to different stakeholders, particularly within the city government. So I had a chance to meet with the mayor, and I had a chance to meet with a few city councilors over the last half a year or so. And the thing I heard most from them was that the BC government was basically telling them what to do. They were telling the city government, this is what you're going to have to do. And what we plan to do is to address the housing crisis. Instead of working against the cities and getting in their way, or vice versa, we need to work together. So we need to collaborate. So the best thing we can do is work with the cities, let them rezone and replan the city how they want, give them a target, say you need to hit a certain housing target, but say you get to choose, you get to determine how and what zoning is going to happen, and then work within that frame. We also do want to incentivize developers. Like, we need to get homes built. Like, the simple fact is, if we don't get homes built, there's no place for people to live. You can't get away from that. So we got to cut through the red tape that's there. We have to get out of the way. One thing I know, because I used to have a background in construction. I used to work as a finishing carpenter for about 11 years before I got into politics. And I remember hearing about a project, like this big massive project. Actually, it's currently ongoing in Burnaby. It's near Edmonds SkyTrain. It's that big multi-tower thing. I was hearing about that, I think 5 or 6 years ago. And then it finally broke ground maybe a year or two ago. Like, that's thousands of housing units that took years to actually get to the point where it's not even done. I mean, it's still ongoing, it's a large project, but like what took so long? It's the red tape, it's the cities, it's the permitting, it's all that stuff that's really just getting in the way. I also was speaking to a developer recently, and he said that him and many other developers, they don't even want to start building in British Columbia because it's too difficult, it's too volatile, and they don't know what the direction is going to be. So to sum it up, we gotta work with the cities, not against them, and we have to let developers be able to get in under that new framework and be able to build, because without homes, there's no place for people to live. And then the shortage of housing means that the market, the demand goes up, and then we can't afford it. So.
Thanks. The next question is regarding economy and jobs. I'm a university, actually, by myself, and we have universities in the BC, 2 or 3 good university in BC. One of the problems is that the people come here, immigrate here, they are going to universities. When they graduated, because there is not any job here, any high technology job here, they run away from our province, other province, or US. Mm-hmm. So we investing in these people, but unfortunately we couldn't keep them. Okay?
Right.
Now, what is your strategy to keeping these people, to creating high-tech jobs here, knowledge-based companies, what they have done in Silicon Valley or other places that now they are doing it in Singapore, in Malaysia. I have heard that there is some systems like this to keeping the graduates stay in the province, mm-hmm. and we can use their potential for creating jobs.
Right. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, British Columbia, we have so much in the way of resources. Now, I know I'll address the question. But the thing is, like, we have so many things here in British Columbia that the world needs, right? So as we start to increase our like production of resources, what will happen is that'll raise the economy, and then when there's more money coming into the province, there's more room for other peripheral businesses to set up. And that's where we get things like the Port of Vancouver starts to increase, and then when the Port of Vancouver increases, Vancouver itself increases, and that'll bring more money in so that high-tech jobs can come in. So the important part is that we have several things in BC that I'll be specific here. We have natural gas, which the world needs to create energy. We also have 7 of 9 minerals required for modern life, right here in British Columbia that we're not mining right now. And there's a definite market for that around the world that we could be exploiting. I remember hearing about John, and he said to like everyone who, like a few of us who came in, he said, we could be the richest people on earth if only we manage our resources properly. And now, once we start to get those resources coming in, that just opens up so many opportunities, because the more revenue we bring in, the more ability and the more opportunity we have to open up these other areas as well. And yeah, anybody else have anything to?
I'd like to add to that.
Okay.
So I have a small business in the Tri-Cities, and what I've found in my industry is a lot of businesses have left BC because it's so hard to do business here. Every year it becomes harder and harder and harder to do business. We also cannot find qualified people. So the problem that we have is twofold. A, it's too hard to do business, and B, we don't have the people. However, what I would like to see, and I'm going to push really hard for this if I get elected, is to change the business environment. If we have a business environment that can prosper and we can revive it, we can get more businesses going, we can get better jobs. Because the moment you have that, then you can hire your students. So I'll use an example that I'm not saying they will come, but if you have a Microsoft coming here, those are very highly sought after jobs. If you can create a business environment where these very influential and good businesses can come to, where they're going to make money and stay, you can actually get those people working there. And we need those students from the universities to stay here. So from my perspective as a business owner, that's what I would like to see, is to see the bigger businesses, draw them in here, bring them in, and keep the students. Right.
Yeah. And we just announced that we'll lower the small business tax to 1%.
Yeah.
So that, in conjunction with safer streets, with ending this catch and release and this kind of pandering to repeat criminals, that'll get people back out bustling again. And so with the energizing of our private sector resources, like we were just talking about, that should get the economy going again, so we can spend money at these businesses and people feel safe going down to downtowns to spend money. And this is just kind of what we're used to, and we got to get back to. Yeah.
No, here I want to thank Dr. Dushtar, because they are sponsoring us for this. The Startup Roadway. Exactly, they are working on this kind of things that I described here.
Awesome.
Because, yeah, you know, one of the big problem here, we couldn't keep the startups here.
Yes.
A lot of people, now the federal government put regulation to bring the startups to the country. And a lot of the smart people from the other countries, we are attracting them, but keeping them is so hard.
So we're one of them.
Problem.
Like, we're one of them. We were also immigrants, came in, tried to make a business, and it's hard. It's hard to do that. So I can see that. I know I've experienced it for the last 30 years, and I would like to make that easier for us to come in.
The other provinces, they are doing good, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. But we are very weak in this.
Very much so.
Yeah.